Hello, and welcome to a quick controller briefing regarding the implementation of the Special Altitude Assignment Area. The Special Altitude Assignment Area is an area within some of our center sectors where altitude for direction of flight rules are being amended to follow some real-world conventions which are unique to southern Florida and require significant changes to our current standard operating procedures. Implementation of the Special Altitude Assignment Area rules will affect clearance delivery positions at Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, and their satellite fields, as well as large-scale changes to Miami Center positions. All the changes discussed in these briefings are based on SOPs which will take effect simultaneously at the start of the new year, January 1st, 2021. Until then, please continue using normal procedures. This is the Fort Lauderdale and Miami clearance delivery version of the Special Altitude Assignment Area Controller Briefing, only covering the changes to the Fort Lauderdale clearance delivery and Miami clearance delivery positions. These changes will also affect Palm Beach, but they will be dealt with upon the completion and release of a new Palm Beach SOP. Focusing on Fort Lauderdale delivery and Miami delivery, here are the changes you'll need to get familiar with. A reformatted standalone SOP has been created for Fort Lauderdale, just like the SOP we have for Tampa. New PDAR routing has been added for departures to Jacksonville and Atlanta. You will see them in the Fort Lauderdale and Miami SOPs when they are finalized and released. If aircraft file anything other than those exact routes, you will have to issue an amended route clearance to match, or coordinate with the controllers affected by the non-standard routing. The top altitude to the Orlando and Daytona TRACONs is being changed from at or below flight level 240 to at or below flight level 230. The reasoning will become clear in the next few slides. You have been trained to use SkyVector to find the magnetic heading from an aircraft's origin airport, like Fort Lauderdale or Miami, to their destination airport, ignoring any routing. For example, the Detroit Metro Airport from Fort Lauderdale is a 358 heading, meaning you were trained to assign them even altitudes. From any airports within the Miami and Palm Beach approach controls, departures northbound over land will be assigned cruise altitudes based not on the magnetic heading to their destination, but based on their SID, or valid departure fix. Winco and Thunder should always be an even cruise altitude, where Headley and Arcs should always be an odd cruise altitude. So a Fort Lauderdale departure to Detroit Metro who filed routing via Arcs would be assigned an odd altitude, when another Fort Lauderdale departure also going to Detroit Metro Airport with filed routing via Thunder would be assigned an even altitude. The same for Miami. Say they filed Detroit via Winco, assign an even altitude, or for Headley, assign an odd altitude. So only with north fixes, Winco, Thunder, Headley, and Arcs, the cruise altitude is based on which fix they file over, and not the heading to their destination. There is one exception to the Winco, Thunder, Headley, Arcs altitude assignments, and that is for Atlanta's. This will be included in the PDAR route and altitude table in the Fort Lauderdale and Miami SOPs, but all departures to Atlanta will be required to follow a specific route that uses Arcs out of Fort Lauderdale or Headley out of Miami. And usually, Arcs and Headley should be given an odd altitude, but for Atlanta, we need to assign an even altitude. Atlanta is the only exception to the rule. Previously, all that was required when validating a given route was to ensure the route went out on a valid SID, or via a valid departure fix. Now, for aircraft leaving Miami Center via Winco, Thunder, Headley, or Arcs, there are additional routing requirements. Not only will aircraft need to use an appropriate departure fix, but a short route string will also be required, based on which airway the aircraft exits Miami Center airspace. This can be easily retrieved from a table in each of the SOPs. This diagram shows the paths of the required routings for Miami departures, in orange, and Fort Lauderdale departures in blue. So if a Fort Lauderdale departure has filed to join Q87, we are required to route them via ARCS, CZ, ONUI, Q87. For Y280, we'd assign Thunder, JMAC, Y280. For a Miami to Q77, we'd assign Headley, Stymie, Q77, etc. Aircraft will usually file these routes on their own, but if they do not, clearance delivery is required to issue an amended route clearance to match the partial routes shown in the SOP unless otherwise coordinated. And again, this only applies to north fixes, Winco, Thunder, Headley, and ARCS. Other departure fixes are handled in the normal way. This concludes the Fort Lauderdale and Miami clearance delivery version of the Special Altitude Assignment Area Controller Briefing. Remember, only apply these changes starting on January 1st, 2021. If anything from this video briefing or the provided briefing sheet does not make sense, please reach out on TeamSpeak, via email, or through the ZMA Discord to any trainer who should be able to clear things up for you. Thank you.